Hello, spiritual friends. This is a reading from Conversations with God, Book 3, and it's about death. I thought that would be an interesting subject, because some people are worried about death, maybe. I'm not worried about it, because I'll tell you one day. Anyway, let us have a little read. Yeah. Right. Death should teach you that what is real is life, and life teaches you what is unavoidable is not death, but impermanence. Impermanence is the only truth. Nothing is permanent, all is changing in every instant, in every moment. Were anything permanent, it could not be, for even the very concept of permanence depends upon impermanence to have any meaning. Therefore, even permanence is impermanent. Look at this deeply. Contemplate this truth. Comprehend it, and you comprehend God. This is the Dharma, and this is the Buddha. This is the Buddha Dharma. This is the teaching and the teacher. This is the lesson and the master. This is the object and the observer rolled into one. They never have been other than one. It is you who have unrolled them, that your life may unroll before you. Let us watch your own life roll out before you. Do not yourself become unravelled. Keep yourself together. See the illusion, enjoy it, but do not become it. You are not the illusion, but the creator of it. You are in this world, but not of it. So use your illusion of death. Use it, allow it to be the key that opens you to more of life. See the flower as dying, and yet see the flower sadly. Yet see the flower as part of the whole tree that is changing and will soon bear fruit, and you see the flower's true beauty. When you understand that the blossoming and the falling away of the flower is a sign that the tree is really ready to bear fruit, when you understand life. Look at this carefully, and you will see that life is its own metaphor. Always remember, you are not the flower, nor are you even the fruit. You are the tree, and your roots are deep, embedded in me. I am the soil from which you have sprung, and both your blossom and your fruit will return to me, creating more rich soil. Thus life begets life and cannot know death. That was God speaking. This is Neil now. That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Thank you. Will you speak to me now of something that is troubling me? I need to talk about suicide. Why is there such a taboo against the ending of one's life? You mean this is God now. Indeed, why is there? Neil, you mean it's not wrong to kill yourself? The question cannot, this is God, the question cannot be answered to your satisfaction, because the question itself contains two false concepts. It is based on two false assumptions. It contains two errors. The first false assumption is that there is such a thing as right and wrong. The second false assumption is that killing is possible. Your question itself, therefore, disintegrates the moment it is dissected. Right and wrong are philosophical polarities in a human value system which have nothing to do with ultimate reality. A point which I have made repeatedly throughout this dialogue. They are furthermore not even constant contrasts within your own system, but rather values which keep shifting from time to time. You are doing the shifting, changing your mind about these values as it suits you, which rightly you should, as evolving beings. You insisting at each step along the way that you haven't done this, and that it is your unchanging values which, from the core of your society's integrity. You have thus built your society on a paradox. You keep changing your values, all the while proclaiming that it is unchanging values which you well value. The answer to the problem presented by the paradox is not to throw cold water on the sand in an attempt to make it concrete, but to celebrate the shifting of the sand, celebrate its beauty while it holds itself in the shape of your castle, but then also celebrate the new form and shape it takes as the tide comes in. Celebrate the shifting sands as they form the new mountains you would climb atop, with which you will build your new castle. Yet understand that these mountains and these castles are monuments to change, not to permanence. Glorify what you are today, yet do not condemn what you were yesterday, nor preclude what you could become tomorrow. Understand that right and wrong are fragments of your imagination, and that okay and not okay are merely announcements of your latest preference and imaginings. For example, on the question of ending one's life, it is the current imagining of the majority of people on your planet that it is not okay to do that. Similarly, many of you still insist that it is not okay to assist another who wishes to end his or her life. In both cases, you say this should be against the law. You have come to this conclusion, presumably, because the ending of life occurs relatively quickly. Actions which end a life over a somewhat longer period of time are not against the law, even though they achieve the same result. Thus, if a person in your society kills himself with a gun, his family members lose insurance benefits. If he does so with cigarettes, they do not. If a doctor assists you in your suicide, it is called manslaughter, while if a tobacco company does it, it is called commerce. With you, it seems to be merely a question of time. The legality of self-destruction, the rightness or the wrongness of it, seems to have much to do with how quickly the deed is done, as well as who is doing it. The faster the death, the more wrong it seems to be. The slower the death, the more it slips into okayness. Interestingly, this is the exact opposite of what a true human society would conclude by any reasonable definition of what you call human. The shorter the death, the better. Yet your society punishes those who would seek to do the human thing and rewards those who would do the insane. It is insane to think that ending endless suffering is what God requires, and that a quick human end to the suffering is wrong. Punish the human, reward the insane. This is a motto which only a society of beings with limited understanding could embrace. Well, I'll stop there now. Yes, I hope you've understood that. It seems we're okay about getting an illness or something that takes forever to die, even though the person wants to die. We won't let him die, we keep them going until they can't breathe anymore, or the pain is such that nothing can kill the pain, and I've watched that my personal self, that they can't stop the pain eventually, so the person is suffering. And we should need to talk about this, because it's ridiculous. People are suffering. They've had enough. They can't do anything for them. The enjoyment of life has dissipated. They can't even feed themselves, and yet we insist on keeping them alive, even though they've asked to die, and they've begged to die, and they're crying, please kill me, but nobody can do it, because society's got to vote in Parliament, and then it always gets turned down. That's sad for people. Anyway, I hope you have a think about it yourself, and if you can afford it, you can take yourself off somewhere and have it done nice and neatly. But if you can't, then you have to suffer and just linger on until your poor body can't even breathe in the end, and that's how you die. Or without food. Withhold food, I think, was a policy, wasn't it? Anyway. Peace, truth, love to you and everybody you love, and be kind when you're on your way to here, there or anywhere. Bye-bye.